Hey, Paige. Sean McFarland with the Hartford Current. You guys are down by 10 with a few minutes left in the third quarter. The offense had kind of stalled out a little bit, and then you guys go on that 19-0 run. What, from your vantage point, kind of changed in you guys offensively at that stage?
I think just keeping up our movement. We got kind of stagnant and just watched everybody do their own thing with the ball. And once we got that ball movement better and we start pushing in transition and getting easier buckets against a really tough defense in half court, I think that opened up the game for us.
Next question is from Emma. Emma, please state your name and affiliation and unmute yourself.
Hi, Paige. Emma Bachelari from Sports Illustrated. At the beginning of this tournament, Coach Daly was asked if you have another gear that you can shift your game into. And she said that you do, and that comes out when the game is really physical. This was obviously a pretty physical game, and it did look like you kind of had an extra gear there. Can you describe what that means to you to kind of shift up to play into that physicality?
Yeah, I think it's just coming in, I knew the game was going to be physical, especially against Baylor. They're a really physical, tough, and strong team. So just trying to get that mindset in before the game and making sure I was ready for that mentally and physically. That was really huge for me and the whole team. But I was just trying to do, and our whole team was just trying to perform enough in order for us to win.
Next question is from Douglas. Douglas, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Hey, Paige. Doug Bonjour with Hearst Connecticut Media. I just wanted to know if you could discuss the matchup with Dee and kind of how the game shifted when she went out. How big of an impact was that?
Yeah, I mean, she's a terrific player on both sides of the ball. She does great things for them offensively. And I mean, her defense speaks for itself. She's been a contender for National Defensive Player of the Year a lot of her years playing in college. So I think when she went out, obviously you hate to see somebody get injured, but I think we just try to take advantage of it defensively and attack their guards, attack the paint, try to just drive and kick and get our feet into the paint and create shots for each other. And then offensively, she's the point guard for them. She does everything for them. She makes everything easy for them on the offensive end. So I think that was a huge change in momentum, but I think it was a huge focus for us just to play our game on both sides of the ball.
Next question is from Dom. Dom, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Yeah, hi, Paige. Dom Amori from the Hartford Current. What does it mean to your team, particularly as a young team, to face a test like this, to face a kind of a crisis moment like this when you were down 10 and come through it? What type of growth do you think took place in that short period tonight?
Yeah, I think it's spoke for our mentality the whole season of just facing adversity and taking it with our chin and just fighting back. They hit us. They went on their runs. Basketball's a game of runs, so we just try to stay confident. And we just didn't want to go home, and we wanted to keep competing and make it to the Final Four. And I think we just really strung together. I think that's the biggest thing for our team is just coming together when times are tough and sticking together and never losing that confidence.
Next question is from Donnie. Donnie, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Donnie Woods here with World Exposure Report. Paige Bueckers. Do you think Geno's happy that? Do you think you shot enough tonight to make Geno happy? And you had some nights where you really filled it up, but doing this on this type of stage, what was this night like for you? And did you envision this growing up as a little kid?
I think Coach is never satisfied with anything that I do. So even after the game, he was yelling at me about not waiting for a screen on one of the last plays. So, I mean, we have 2 more games to go. Hopefully on Friday we'll get that Final Four matchup, and then we want to win and compete for the national championship. So I don't think any of us are satisfied with. Obviously, we're going to celebrate the win tonight and just be excited and happy and proud of each other for what we did tonight. But we still have that killer mentality going into the Final Four. But I mean, as a little kid, I would be outside at the park shooting hoops, envisioning these moments, but you never really know if you're going to get those chances and opportunities. And that's where God kicks in. I know I wouldn't be here without him. and just the confidence and experiences and opportunities he's given me. I've just tried to shine and just sort of make him famous and use my light that he's given me to shine on him. So these opportunities, you kind of dream of them as a kid, but you can get there with strong work ethic and faith and just trusting God.
Next question is from Charlotte. Charlotte, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Paige, this is Charlotte Kell with The Athletic. Just to follow up on you sticking together with your teammates, what were those conversations like in the huddles when you guys were down 10, or what were you guys kind of talking about, or who was pumping you all up?
I mean, we all do a really good job of just having little things to say to encourage each other. But in those huddles, it was just making sure we locked in on the defensive end and sort of clogging in the paint and making them shoot outside jumpers and making sure that we were helping each other on defense and not just leaving each other out to dry. And then on offense, we just wanted to reiterate the fact that we needed to have ball movement in order to be successful on the offensive end, and just attack. And I mean, just obviously those are little game plan schemes that we talked about, but just making sure we kept that confidence in each other. And we always told each other, it's okay, we got this. This game's not over. We got a whole nother quarter. We got a whole nother half. And we always just stuck together and never lost confidence.
Next question is from Sunil. Sunil, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Paige, Sunil Sundaraj with Global Women's Sports Radio. I've asked you, I said not only during the Big East tournament, but also here during the NCAA tournament about the balanced scoring. Said that the team has. I mean, you had 10 of your 28 points during that 19-0 run, but I mean, Kristen Williams, 21 points tonight. I think she scored. I think the last 5 points you had. Can you just talk about said just having that, and Vina with 11 points as well? I don't want to leave her out, Paige.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does huge things for this team. You can't take one person away and think you're going to win because we have multiple people that can sort of get a bucket at any time. And I think that's really huge for us going into the Final Four is just making sure we have that balanced scoring and everybody's playing with confidence, everybody's playing their best basketball. And I think that just comes with our selflessness as a team and as a unit. And that's sort of just UConn basketball, just making sure we have plenty of people that get involved and can be a threat on offense and on defense. So that's just what we've been doing all season. Like I said before, we're just not a one-person show.
Next question is from Mike Anthony. Mike, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Thank you, Mike Anthony from Hearst, Connecticut. Hi, Paige. That was wildly entertaining to watch. I'm sure it was wildly difficult to participate in. Can you just describe how tough the situation was, how tough an opponent Baylor was, and what the rewarding emotions were like when it was over?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it was a game of runs. We got off to a really hot start, then they came back and made their runs. But it was a really up and down sort of high anxiety game. But I don't know, we just kind of stuck together. Obviously, there was a lot of high-stress moments, but we just try to stay together and just play our basketball, no matter if we're up 20 or down 20 or it's tied with 20 seconds left. We try to just stick to our game plan and never let it change. But at the end, just getting a tough win like that against one of the best teams in the country, it's so rewarding just to hear that final buzzer go off and you win and you make it to the Final Four. And it's really unexplainable, the feeling that you really get from it. It's like a dream come true.
Next question is from Howard. Howard, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Hi, Paige. Howard Megdal with The Next. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, if my math is right, you were 7 years old the first time that UConn made the Final Four in this streak of 12. I'm wondering how often in this intervening 12 years you've dreamed of you specifically being at UConn doing it. You talked about being on the playground, and whether it's sort of sunk in yet that chain of players is someone who you're now connected to in terms of that accomplishment.
Yeah, it's crazy to be a part of this history we're talking about in the locker room. I think Coach said it was 13 straight years that they've been to the Final Four, and I was about 6 when that streak started. And just to be a part of that history, that's really why I came here, just because of the unspoken success that they've had over the years and just all the winning that they've done. And I mean, I watched it on TV as a young kid, and I've always been a team player and always have just put winning first. So I saw that as a young kid, and I was like, man, I want to be a part of that. And I worked for it, and I prayed for it, and I don't know, it's just surreal. Sort of, I grew up watching like Stephanie Dolson. She was my favorite player growing up from UConn, hosting that trophy. And I mean, it's crazy to be a part of that sort of history right now.
Next question is from Chip. Chip, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Hey, Paige, Chip Scoggins from the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Congrats. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
A year ago about this time, you had your last game canceled, and here you are in the Final Four. Can you kind of describe what this is like? Start from that point to where you're at now.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really hard time for me, just the start of the shutdown of the whole country. But that's when I really started connecting with my faith and with God and knowing that He always has a plan for me through the ups and the downs. Just always keeping that faith and that trust that everything is going to work out and everything happens for a reason. And it's crazy. Just like a year ago today, my dreams were sort of shattered as a senior, wanting to go out on top, undefeated my junior and senior year, just wanted to win that state championship. But if you could tell me a year ago today that I would be in this position, I would be super excited and happy and ecstatic just for it. But yeah, it's really surreal, just the sort of turnaround that happened.
We have time for one more question from Kurt. Kurt, please unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation.
Yeah, Paige, you and Aaliyah seem to always be there in critical defensive moments. What does it say about you and her as freshmen being in the middle of moments like that when you need the defense?
Yeah, I think me and Aaliyah, we just try to do everything that our team needs of us. We try not to think about how we're freshmen and how this is our first year. Because really only Kristen and Liv have UConn tournament experience. So we know that this team is very young and really inexperienced when it comes to tournament time. So we just try to come in and step in and do everything that our team needs us to do to win, and just try not to have like a freshman mentality about it.